We are back, everybody. And as I mentioned in our last session, my travels around the Printerverse as your intergalactic ambassador affords me the privilege of meeting people out there who you might not know about, but you should know about, especially in 2023 and beyond. I can't even believe I have to say things like this, but I am honored and thrilled to introduce you all to, in case you don't know, John DiPippo, DiPippo,
DiPippo. Yep, you got it.
The CEO, and AJ Gardiner.
Gardner. Got it.
God, I should have practiced people's pronunciations before I got on here. The biz dev manager from Loyalty Loop. Now, what is Loyalty Loop? This is Loyalty Loop.
We are Loyalty Loop.
You are Loyalty Loop.
We are Loyalty Loop.
But let me say what I want to give. I want to give an example of Loyalty Loop.
Great.
Okay. I am looking for a hotel room to stay in Atlanta. And I realize now that if I don't look at those reviews, if I don't read those comments, that I am probably going to open up myself to a world of hurt these days because of all the changes that have been going on in the hospitality industry. It is the same. That is a human behavior. That is a human behavior that is practiced by every single person with an internet connection, dare I say, 50 and below, easily. I mean, probably older too, but you can almost guarantee that everybody is looking for reviews, for comments about your products and services in your printing company. And this is where Loyalty Loop comes in. John, why don't you explain what Loyalty Loop is for everybody, please?
First of all, Deborah, thank you so much for having us. We're really, really pleased to be here and share some time with you guys. We've been helping printers for over a decade to do exactly what you said, but the bigger picture is not just those reviews. That's sort of a reflection of what's going on. And you're right, everybody goes and looks at those. What we're trying to help printers do is understand how their customers feel about working with them so that they can learn from that information and make their business stronger. It's such a competitive world out there that if you don't instrument up your business to understand how your customers feel about you and then take action based on that information, then you're missing out on a huge opportunity. And then the other part is once you understand how your customers feel, then you can do specific things like encourage customers to go post those reviews on Google and give you information and insights into how your business can be stronger. So ultimately, that's what we're trying to do is we're creating this loyalty loop effect, which is keeping businesses, very specifically printers of all shapes and sizes, in the loop with their customers so they can make those continuous improvements, but also engage their customers to go to work for them by posting those reviews or suggesting that they might be interested in buying more because they're happy working with you, or referring somebody else for that matter that they think should be working with that printer. And that's what we've been doing for over a decade. And we're just, we came back from Printing United last week. And it was a great show. We were there supporting the entire industry with some of our other software partners. So we're really happy to be here. That's what we do. That's what Loyalty Loop is all about.
And I actually met you. You're part of the National Print and Sign Association as well. Yeah. I mean,
correct. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, going right to the print shop owners and saying, you need this. It's not, and you just made such a great point. It's not just forward facing branding, marketing information. So I can see that somebody has, 10,000 positive reviews, which is great. I still say read those comments, before you just dive in. But it is also an internal feedback tool. AJ, can you explain how that works? And printers, in my experience, are skeptical about these things because it's not in their lane. They print, they serve their customers, but they kind of leave the digital stuff to hotels and things of that nature. But it doesn't work that way anymore. Please.
No, you're right. And when we speak to printers and we talk about brand loyalty and the idea that you're working with a client for a long relationship, it's not just about completing one job for that customer. It's about making sure that you're building that relationship. You have that long time business partner mentality. That makes sense to most printers. The problem is, how do I accomplish that loyalty loop effect? And that's where we come in. Our goal at Loyalty Loop is not to be a chore for a printer. It's to make their lives easier, which is why, 10 years in the print space, we have integrations with most of the major MIS software. So once you have Loyalty Loop set up, and the setup process is really quick, most of this is accomplished automatically behind the scenes. You really only need to spend about 10 minutes a month in Loyalty Loop to be able to benefit from 90% of the features that we offer.
And Deb, just to inject to that, one of the other things is you mentioned we're a member at the MPSOA. We work with printers of all different sizes, right? So if you're a large print operator, you probably are an ISO 9000 shop, or you're looking for ISO 9000 certification. As an example, Loyalty Loop gives them a documented system to track customer requirements and feedback, because that's an essential part for large print manufacturers. But if you're a smaller print house, then we have everything you need to go drive that marketing on Google and whatnot that you care about to get those reviews and the feedback. So it really spans all print industry operators.
So this works it compiles everything on a system of customer experience feedback, yeah?
Yes.
So can one of you explain what those four items are for everybody?
AJ, take it away.
Sure. So, for your classic customer experience metrics, you want to make sure that your customers are satisfied with the service that you're providing. You want to make sure that they're satisfied with the final product. And if you're in the online order space, you want to make sure that your customers are able to place orders with you efficiently. Make sure that you're able to identify if there's areas of opportunity to improve your online ordering. In the world of customer experience, those metrics are really important, but they're considered lagging indicators. They tell you how your customer felt about your business yesterday, which is why it's so important to make sure that you're also capitalizing on the Net Promoter Score system. Make sure that you're figuring out if your customers are in a place to help you increase your brand loyalty and expand your brand.
Oh, okay. That was so simple. I wasn't expecting it to be so simple. But okay. So you mentioned that all a printer needs to do is 10 minutes of work a month. To everybody out there who's going, how is that all happening? What sort of access do you need to their information? Let's get a little dirty behind the scenes now.
So AJ mentioned this a minute ago, that we work with most of the major software platforms out there. And those MISs, what we do is we integrate with them so that when a transaction closes, and every system is a little bit different, but whatever it means for a transaction to close, when it gets posted, that transaction contact information and other metadata about that transaction that would give context to the feedback, that flows automatically and daily into Loyalty Loop, putting the printer in position to instruct Loyalty Loop to have those requests for feedback and reviews go out as soon as the next day. But they can also stipulate delays on that, so the whole system gets tuned for each printer. Even though some printers operate similarly, everyone is different. So we set the system up to be personalized for each business operator with the appropriate rules. But in terms of getting the data to flow in, that's an automatic process through our integrations. And then the requests for feedback go out on the stipulated schedule for each printer. We are very sensitive to overtouching customers, so we have rules in place to prevent asking the same person too often. And then as the feedback rolls in, there are alerts that come through the system that can keep the customer apprised, the printer apprised of what's going on. There's some great tools that we have for these alerts that are very simple. They come out every Monday morning, so you can use that alert to just keep the CX process, your customer experience process, moving forward, and take the appropriate action based on the data you get in those alerts. But of course, you've got your complete user interface. We are an online service, so you have a complete dashboard with all of your data in it that your team can use, whether it be for the marketing aspects of publishing testimonials out to the world on your website or social channels, or replying to Google reviews like you mentioned at the beginning, because you want to make sure you're doing that so the world sees how you respond to customer feedback on public places like Google. Everything is there on your dashboard. It's a really simple and easy service that, like we said, we've been helping printers all over the world for the last 10 years.
Okay, so I have a 3-part question, because why not?
Why not?
negative reviews is going to be something that people fear because it's one of their fears. So how do you handle that? Does having a review system help you with Google SEO at all? And most important, can you share some of the, customer case studies that have shown that this really can help you increase your business? One of you,
Yes,
go.
AJ, you take it. You're great.
No, that's great. So I'm gonna start at the backside about what type of results can you typically see with Loyalty Loop, and what we see is an increased customer lifetime value. We're able to lower customer acquisition costs because we make it easier for new customers to find you. Typically, we're getting about a 30% response rate in the print industry. So 30% of your customers that are offering you feedback. You usually are getting about 8 to 15% on a Google review conversion. You asked about, do Google reviews help with your SEO? It's estimated that between 8 and 20% of your search engine optimization is actually being pulled from those online reviews, because those reviews realistically help explain not just to the world, but to the algorithm what it's like to do business with your print shop. So it becomes a really powerful feature for you to be able to tell the story of your brand through the voice of your customer. One tip I have for all the printers on the call, regardless of whether you're a Loyalty Loop user or not, make sure you have a system in place to respond to those Google reviews, because just like that customer leaving feedback about your business helps tell the customer, helps paint a picture of what it's like to work with you, your response to those customers, whether it's positive feedback or negative feedback, also helps complete that picture of what it's like to work with you. Deb, did I miss one of your questions?
Did he miss one of my questions? No, just,
I don't think so.
I mean, the only thing with like, do you have specific examples of customers who, the more skeptical ones who are now just like, the champions of Loyalty Loop?
Honestly, you know what the best thing to do is go read our testimonials on our website and our reviews on Google, because our customers, we are very blessed by the fact that our customers stay with us for a very long time, because it's a high value solution that does have a payback. One of the things that we do, not only do we intercept that negative feedback that you were talking about, Deb, if we intercept the negative feedback, we get it in the hands of the printer so they can do something about it before it could ever blow up online, right? It gets them the whole point is this continuous feedback to learn to make improvements. So if there's something that went wrong, we'll capture that and get it in your hands quickly, and you can try to address the issue and try to move that customer a little bit more to being happy or positive about the experience versus negative. And then the other thing is to keep in mind that we'll drive some of the marketing aspects. Like I said, if a customer is happy, we will cross promote the services of the printer to try to drive easy additional sales. Well, it doesn't take more than one to take and get a payback or an ROI, a very big ROI on Loyalty Loop. We had plenty of our customers who've said, thanks to Loyalty Loop, I landed this deal of X dollars that paid for Loyalty Loop 15 times over. Right. So it's like, it's that kind of stuff that we're doing. And it's a lot of low hanging fruit. The big picture for me as the owner of this business is when you step way back and you think about how all businesses manage themselves. Most of us set up our financial systems, the MISs, and all the other ancillary systems to instrument the business. But the one thing most of us forget to do is set up a system. And I mean a system, not just some gut feel, a system to understand how the customer feels about doing business with you. Because if you don't do that, you're simply guessing. And all those other things, like how my sales are doing, how's my profitability, they follow how the customer feels about doing business with you.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And that's what we're giving printers, is the ability to instrument the business to understand that aspect.
I couldn't agree with you more. And after one of our last conversations, I actually wrote an article that printers should embrace their bad reviews.
100%.
And because it gives an opportunity to show the world how you dealt with it, and to show your customers that you're not afraid to say, okay, we made a mistake here, but this is how we made it right. And to have that customer turn around and say, I thought, I was going to just, be fired after this, but not only did this printer save me, we ended up getting more work from it, which does happen. Okay.
It's such an important point.
It really is. I mean, I always recommend printers by how they resolved issues, because everybody can do what they're supposed to do, which is print and deliver on time and stay on budget.
No one's
or they
perfect.
should
We're all
be.
making mistakes, right? No
I
one's
know.
perfect. So it's a matter of how you handle that mistake. And if you do that for the world to see, that's a positive thing. No one's expecting everybody to be perfect, right? But if you're not improving, there's a bigger problem.
Or worse, it's sitting there and you're not aware
Yes.
that you're being
Yes.
spoken about. And that's
Yes.
the whole thing. We're all being spoken about somewhere. So why not figure that out? Now, to enable that, my friends are making a special offer to everybody who's registered for this event and in honor of International Print Day. So why don't you explain that? And then I also want to mention that AJ and John will be in a breakout room after if you want to learn more about their product. And I encourage you to, everybody's on a device, people. Everybody's looking to see if they don't know you, if they haven't met you in real life. It is reviews, it is stars that they are making their judgments on. I do it every day. I am not different than anybody else out there or anybody who makes a purchase. So please share the offer and then we'll wrap this up.
No, that's great. So this is our best offer we've ever put out into the world. This is a one-day offer for International Print Day. This is $100 off your setup fee. So we're typically a $300 setup fee to get you up and going. We're going to discount that down to $200. And then we're also going to give you 50% off your first 6 months. So our subscription typically starts at $99. You're going to get that for half price. It's a monthly subscription service. There are no long-term contracts. We want to make sure that we're in a position to help you. We don't want to lock you into anything. We're happy to say that most of our printers have been with us for years. Go check out our Google reviews, our testimonials. You're going to see clients that have been with us for 8, 9 years. No contracts. They could have left anytime they want. We do everything we can, not just be another vendor of yours. We want to be a true business partner.
And you have been nothing but that to me. And I want to thank you both so much for, I want to tell everybody that I was looking for sponsors for this event, but there were certain companies I went to and I was like, I don't want your money. I want you to give something to everybody, because this is really important that we start coming together on this. Reviews are the way forward. Feedback, everything that they've mentioned. If you have time, jump into the breakout room. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, John. Thank you guys so much. Franks and beans, as we like to say.
Thanks,
And we will be back in 1 second with Donna from Zycon.
Thanks, Deborah. Really appreciate it.